All right, everyone, it is all too common as we start off today that legacy media articles decrying misinformation are themselves misinformation. This is a great example of that. It comes from CBS News. They're decrying the Trump statements with regards to Nikki Haley, trying to swing Democratic and liberal voters over to vote for her. This is fundamentally true. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details and why this article is wrong in a moment. CBS is claiming it ain't so. They're claiming, it's impossible for this to happen in an open primary state where 40% of the public is undeclared. Yeah, no, none of them are going to be coerced into taking a GOP ballot to try to stop Big Don. Of course they will. And many of them will be liberal voters. The number of undeclared, nonpartisan voters in the country has skyrocketed over the last few years, so you have plenty of people with liberal ideologies in mind that are being openly coerced by the Nikki Haley campaign. It's not a secret. It's a reality. The Haley campaign is quite literally going door to door trying to get people who are undeclared, who can vote in either primary, to take that ballot. By the way, at the same time, other Dem groups, because Nikki Haley basically is a Dem with an R after her name, are trying to get people, desperately trying to get people to take the Dem ballot because they're terrified that Joe Biden is actually going to manage to come in under 50 on his write-in campaign. You'll remember that there were primary shenanigans by the DNC. They effectively insulted the New Hampshire population and promoted South Carolina as a reward to Joe Biden more than anything else, because you'll remember, he didn't do well in New Hampshire, but he did do well in South Carolina, and that sealed the deal for him as Dem frontrunner the last time around. Nikki Haley's campaign has been attempting to go door to door to tell undecided voters, take a GOP ballot, we'll stop Trump by giving Nikki Haley the New Hampshire primary victory. This is true. This is effectively self-professed. I've actually heard from several people from New Hampshire that they were queried by Nikki Haley's staff specifically on this topic. As I think 2 or 3 messages that I've gotten on the topic. By the way, if any of you are from New Hampshire, if you've had the same experience, you can go ahead and tell me in DMs on Twitter or down in the comments if you want to. CBS is denying this and saying, well, the cutoff for registered voters to change their party was back in October. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as far as Nikki Haley pandering to people that are registered Democrat, that ended some time ago. But undeclared voters can take whichever ballot they want on Election Day itself. On the day when the primary goes, it is an open primary. A person with left-leaning views can take a GOP ballot. Likewise, a person who generally votes Republican, has conservative views, can take a Dem ballot. This is also the way that it is in Vermont. You are asked which ballot you want when you go to the primary in the state of Vermont, which I will be attending. It's a Super Tuesday state, by the way. I'm going to cast my vote and then go live. And I will be taking a GOP ballot and I'll be voting for Donald Trump, of course. I suspect that he'll win the state handily. I don't think he'll have any problem with that. But this is effectively CBS declaring that it's misinfo when the declaration itself is the disinformation. It is possible for that very large bulk of voters to take whichever ballot they want. Their ideological leaning in many cases will be liberal because New Hampshire is a vaguely blue state and getting bluer all the time despite the existence of the Free State Project and things like that. Now, it used to be a swing state, not so much anymore. In the end, I suspect that Trump will win. Again, the polling that I've seen, there are 3 post-Iowa polls, one of which is countermanded by the new Boston-Suffolk poll. As I mentioned, they show Trump at or above 50. I don't think that Nikki Haley can make up a 10-point gap by going after undecided voters. And the other thing is some of those undecided voters. Let's say that I'm a liberal. I've got TDS. Which argument is stronger? I should stop Trump or I should promote Trump with the GOP ballot. Some people, I think, will get it in their heads that Trump is easier to beat. Well, he's going to be convicted of felonies. The American people will never vote for him, so yeah, I'd rather have Trump back. Also, he's old, maybe he dies. You hate Republicans, you hate Trump, whatever. Promoting Nikki Haley would not necessarily be your go-to option. There's another problem. Nikki Haley actually fares the best against Joe Biden in polling, and some liberals will be aware of this fact. Now, it's due to the Kasich effect. It's due to the fact that Nikki Haley is less of a known quantity. Candidates tend to lose support as they're more well-known, and they sort of regress to the same partisan support level. It wouldn't really matter which candidate it was. So if I'm a TDS-suffering voter, and I look at the polling there, and I don't know what the Kasich effect is, probably I don't want Nikki Haley to be Biden's opponent because I might come to the conclusion she's more electable. Well, we can't have her in office. We can't have a Republican in office because Republicans equals evil. Party of Trump. Doesn't matter if he's the one that's nominated. It won't matter at all. Also, I might think, well, Big Don, he's going to be disqualified. Well, then, I'll nominate him on behalf of the Republicans to screw with them. I don't think that Nikki Haley will prevail. I think that she'll come in second in New Hampshire. It'll be reasonably close, but she'll come in second. DeSantis has ceded the state, and nobody else is in the running. Trump's last-minute surge is the result of Ramaswamy especially supporting him, and to an extent Doug Burgum, by the way. By the way, Mike Pence's former chief of staff just endorsed Trump, too, which must really piss Pence off. In the end, I think Trump rides at 52, 53, thereabouts. He gets around the same amount of support as he got in Iowa, maybe a little bit less. Haley runs in the upper 30s, low 40s. Ron DeSantis gets some votes, but again, he has very openly ceded the state and moved to South Carolina for campaigning purposes. And then the race is over after New Hampshire, effectively. Trump has won the first two states. South Carolina, he's ahead by 35 points. The Nevada primary / caucus is a hot mess anyway, and nobody's really going to pay attention to it. It'll be funny. Haley will probably win the unsanctioned primary because Trump's not on the ballot there. Trump will then go on to win the sanctioned caucus in the state of Nevada. He'll probably be in the 50s by then. And did you check national polling lately? Trump having another surge. Again, he's gobbled up virtually all of Ramaswamy's support. It puts him up at a level that is unattainable by any other candidate. Now, I know what some people say, well, historically, there have been times when a candidate will have a heavy lead and then they just drop off the face of the earth. Haha, look at Rudy Giuliani, for example, who lost to McCain. Yeah, in a non-incumbent election in which the field remained relatively open and he never led by more than a slim double-digit margin all the way through. He never had the kind of numbers that Donald Trump has. Trump is gaining his ascendancy because he is a quasi-incumbent. People are treating him not as though he's fighting in the primaries, but as he's already been minted. And at this point, they've mostly thrown their hands up and said, even if they don't like the man, Trump will be nominee. You've got obvious demoralization among DeSantis fans. And again, I swore, and I'll hold to my promise, I'm not going to criticize him again, or his fans for that matter, because you cock-blocked Nikki Haley good in Iowa, and I fucking loved that. That last-minute 5.5 surge by DeSantis against the grain of polling was something I predicted, and I said, you know, if I wake up and I find that my prediction's right, I'm going to be, like, really, really happy. You made me happy, so I will lay off the DeSantis fans. I know there's still some ire and stuff, but nobody really hates Ron DeSantis or anything. It's all fucking, it's bants within politics. You've got to expect that. He knows this. He's got thick skin. He's all right. He'll be fine. He'll also have a political career if he does drop out before Super Tuesday. Because then, you know, when Trump wins Florida, he can say, well, you know, I wasn't running by that point, so it's no big deal to me. Especially if he endorses Trump. Well, that's game, set, match. This is Misinfo, though. Haley's people are petitioning undeclared voters. They had been petitioning registered Democrats. And the registered Democrats / Republicans are small fry compared to undeclared voters at this point anyway. Haley is trying to get liberals to vote for her because there aren't enough Republicans to put her over the edge. And she knows this. I know it. You know it. The legacy press knows it. All of these people know it. Other politicians know it. If Nikki Haley doesn't manage to win in New Hampshire, she's toast. The race will be completely over. I saw one Cope article earlier, aggregated on RCP. Well, New Hampshire's not Nikki Haley's last chance. Oh boy, that speaks volumes to how astroturfed Haley expects to lose, by the way. And her media handlers, her fluff bunny friends in the legacy media, they realize that she's not likely to win either. In fact, based on new polling, I now adjust it from 90% chance of Trump winning to 95%. That's about all. Peace out.